Hello everyone. So, I was asked what going home would be like. Is there a reverse culture shock? Is there anything that I'd not gotten used to, or does it feel like coming home? So, in case you guys are new to this channel, I am Isabel and I run a travel blog called Bel Around The World. I've been traveling the world full-time for the past 5 years, and right now I'm living in Bali. Because of a twist of events, I've had to return home after 2 long years of being on the road thanks to the pandemic. Well, to be honest, I wasn't really needing to go home if not for this turn of events. But since I thought I'm already in Asia, I thought I would make a quick trip back home to do whatever it is that going home entails. For me, it was seeing family, seeing friends, getting my shit in order, and also pigging out on the best Singapore foods. And so it was on Christmas Day in 2022 that I got on a flight to fly back to Singapore, and then I have around a week before flying back to Bali because I wanted to celebrate New Year's in Bali. I mean, after all, there's no other place that celebrates New Year's better than Bali, is there? So going home to Singapore was fraught with a lot of uncertainty. To be honest, I wasn't super thrilled about going back just because I don't feel like I fit into the city culture, the city life anymore. Besides, I've also forged an identity on my own after traveling so much that I forged my own personal identity through travels. Going back home is a separate culture that, yes, I was asked if I experienced reverse culture shock just because of how different it is now. For one, I feel like nobody's a hugger in Singapore. I couldn't believe this. I tried hugging my dad when he came to pick me up, and he was like, "Ew, you're dirty, you came from Indonesia." I know, all sorts of assumptions there. But then I went home and I tried to do the same with my sister and my mom, and they weren't super thrilled about it, to be honest. Then came meeting friends. I filled my days with meeting all of my closest friends because I had honestly not seen them for over a year. People have gotten married, deciding to have kids, and I missed out on all of it. So it was a good time to catch up with them and to see what's going on. And tell me if you resonate, if you're a digital nomad, if you resonate. I felt like most of the conversations that have gone on between me and my friends were very much just catching up in the sense of the word catching up, which basically means, oh, what have we been up to? What have you been up to the last 2 years? What have I been up to the last 2 years? I basically could write a story. Well, for me, the past 2 years of all the adventures and misadventures, I could literally write a storybook for, which includes getting burglared in Dominican Republic. You can check out the link above because I've shared it in a separate YouTube video. I also got all of my valuables stolen in Playa del Carmen, which I've also told the story in my blog post. I'll link it below, as well as a Costa Rica love story, which is beautiful and I cherish it even up to today. And then it seems like the only catch up that they would tell me is that life is the same, work sucks. I've moved in with my partner turned husband or spouse. Interesting because the nature of conversations are different than what I would have with other nomads, with other entrepreneurs. Yeah, it's nice to catch up, right? And I won't say that I don't like it because I still value friendships from my past life. But things get a bit superficial, I would say. And being home in Singapore, it hit me again that people are not as deep as the people that I surround myself with, which is perfectly fine. It's just not my kind of conversations anymore, and after a while it gets a bit repetitive, exhausting. So apart from that, it was amazing catching up with friends. I did not do anything apart from that and eating, which is the sole reason, my biggest motivation, my biggest thing that I was looking forward to going back home. I picked out on so many different things, from laksa to roti prata, Indian food, to all my Singapore local hawker food. I just had a blast eating. I had just come out of a 5-day juice cleanse, so I was in the state of healthy eating, but when I saw all of that food in front of me, like bak chor mee, when I saw all of that Singapore delicacy in front of me, my diet was thrown out of the window instantly. So it was really nice to catch up with friends and eat local food at the same time. these are the clips that I have filmed when I went back for a week in Singapore. I also cleared out some of my wardrobe stuff because things started getting moldy. I was hoarding clothes that I didn't see myself wearing anymore, and so I cleared out a bunch of stuff. I really am embracing more of a minimalist lifestyle now, where I would be living out of my suitcase. In the past 2 years, I was living in a 40 kg suitcase, which included a wetsuit, rock climbing gear, my full camera gear, winter and summer clothing. That was way too much. And so coming back home was also a relief for me because I'm now able to pack light. And since I know I'll be in the tropical country for a bit in Bali, I just packed a carry-on and tried to pack as light as possible. Look, it's really light. It felt like a huge weight lifted off my shoulders, so that was nice. And also reconnected with my sister, which I feel guilty about because I had felt like our sister bonding relationship, I let it slide because I'm away for so long and I hardly talk to her anymore. So it was nice to take her out to Yakun breakfast and kind of get into a heart-to-heart talk, which I don't think I've ever done it with her before. So I got real and honest. I'm not in the business of hiding anything, so yeah, whatever questions that they had, but that she had, I was happily answering them, even though some might be tough and hard to fathom. All in all, it was a really good trip. I couldn't get as much done as I thought I would, like going to doctor appointments, because of just a short time, and it was also during the holiday season. There is always a lot of developments in Singapore, so that one I'm not surprised about. It's always concrete skyscrapers. It feels a bit sterile, and I feel like the people there, I like to say that they're a bit like zombies because their life just revolves around work and then going home and then all these daily responsibilities that they don't really live out of that shell anymore, which again I respect because I know that some people just crave stability, and that's just not for me. I like routine, yes, but I also like interactions. I like making new friends every day. Well, maybe not every day, but most days. While I am introvert, I have started becoming more sociable, more outgoing, and so I really do crave company and companionship and friendships, which I feel I'm able to do living in Canggu, Bali. If you're curious about my life as a digital nomad in Canggu, Bali, definitely check my previous videos. I've just published a series of YouTube videos around living in Bali, and that's very exciting, so feel free to check it out. And so yeah, I feel like there's a difference in priorities between the typical Singaporeans and myself. And I'm not trying to put everyone in a box here, but some people prefer predictability, stability, certainty, a stable income so they don't have to fret about the future. For me, I like to balance work and life and make it a lifestyle for me. While I may not be earning a stable, same income with a trajectory growth, I still am earning an income which allows me to travel full-time, and I'm still earning extra which I can put into my savings. And I also like interacting with foreigners. I also like immersing myself in the local culture. I like learning from different people. So being in a standard environment where everything is the same every single day in and day out, it's just not for me. I like to celebrate differences. So yeah, this concludes my trip in Singapore. It was short but sweet. I got to see my parents. I got to hear them nagging. Thank you very much, Mom and Dad. I got to eat home-cooked food, so that was really amazing. They were really nice. I think the one benefit of living abroad away from your parents also is that your relationships are more precious, they're more respected, they're not taken for granted, and they treat you nicer, basically. So that was nice. Like, I managed to get all of us out to eat laksa at the famous Katong Laksa, which, to be honest, I can't even remember the last time we did a family thing. So it was nice that we get to organize things like that and also have dinners at home together and do the routine stuff. Although that kind of routine stuff is not something I would like to do, which is typical. I think it's normal. I think people just grow into it, but it's just not for me, at least right now at this stage. Like, for example, working all day and then coming home, eating dinner, and then retiring in front of the TV. I don't remember the last time I did that. But for me, life in Bali every day is almost always different. I would, let's say, work for most of the days and then have dinners and then go home. But when I go home, even when I go home, things are different every day. There is no one day where it's a set routine. Yes, sometimes I miss that, but yes, I also like that variety. There you have it. This is my life back in Singapore for that 1 week after traveling non-stop for 2 years and how I make of it. What do you think of life in Singapore? Have you ever been to Singapore? Are you a tourist? Are you a local there? Let me know in the comments below and I'll be curious to hear what you think. See you in the next video.